What if Ayrton Senna never had a crash in Imola at 94? What if Schumacher never retired in 2006? What if Lewis joined Red Bull in 2013? Welcome back to Formula Gasm, your pit stop for everything Formula One. Today, we're shifting gears to explore the top 10 what-ifs in F1 history. Strap in as we rewind the lapse of time and delve into the moments that could have rewritten the record books. Before we hit full throttle, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more high-octane F1 content. Number 10. What if Ayrton Senna hadn't tragically passed away at Imola in 1994? Considered one of the greatest drivers of all time, Ayrton Senna's premature death left the world wondering what more he could have achieved. With 3 championships already, could he have surpassed Michael Schumacher's then emerging legacy? Well, looking back realistically, Senna would have gone on title chance in 95 and 96 given Williams was making gradual progress. We can assume that he continued racing with Williams until 1997. The first ramification of this is that David Coulthard does not debut with Williams, so the lineup remains Senna Hill until 1996. Hill could have a 50-50 chance at championship himself, and Senna would with a total of 6 titles and major regulation changes coming in 1998, including grooved tires and narrower cars. It's quite easy to imagine Senna retiring at this point. Comment down your thoughts on this. Number 9. What if Michael Schumacher never retired the first time? The 7-time world champion first retired at the end of 2006. Had he continued, the battle between him and the likes of Hamilton and Alonso could have been legendary. Would he have extended his record number of championships? Well, assuming he was still at Ferrari and stayed there until 2010 and then moved to Mercedes and seasons followed the same patterns as they did in reality, he would have sealed the 2007 and 2008 championships with no problem. He had the experience of winning before and wouldn't have made as many mistakes as those eventual championship winners, maybe not so in 2007 but certainly in 2008. Of course, the main downfall is that the 2007 and 2008 championships wouldn't have gone on like they did. Kimi wouldn't have joined Ferrari, so Hamilton may have not got a McLaren seat until 2008 or later, and the rest is history. It would have been a straight fight between Kimi, Michael, and Alonso for the 2007 championship, and who knows who would have won that one. As for 2009 onwards though, and him joining Mercedes in 2010, we think he'd be mostly going toe-to-toe with Rosberg, but amper title chances as the first batch of silver arrows was not so worthy. Car number 8. What if a crash never happened in Abu Dhabi in 2021? As we are already past one of the most controversial F1 events in modern times, F1 fans won't be giving up on Abu Dhabi 2021 for a long time in the coming years. Lewis Hamilton was cruising at the front with almost an 11-second lead. With almost 8 laps to go, stars aligned for Verstappen after Williams went onto the wall, inducing a safety car. This changed the whole course of a race in the last 10 minutes of a race where history was written. If not for this crash, Lewis would probably have won the race with a 15-second lead and written his name with golden letters in the history book as 8 times world champion. Unfortunately, Williams induced a safety car incident that got race neutralized while Max pitted and won his first championship. Number 7. What if Fernando Alonso stayed with McLaren in 2007? Alonso's turbulent year with McLaren could have been the start of a dominant partnership. With the intra-team rivalry with rookie Hamilton causing friction, could they have resolved their differences and changed the course of F1 history? When Ferrari got lucky to win the championship by 1 point in the last race, I think if Fernando had been backed properly, they probably would have won the 2007 and 2008 championships. Who knows what would have happened after that, but there you go. However, one could assume that without Hungary there wouldn't be Spygate, and McLaren would go toe-to-toe against Ferrari with constructors' money. Number 6. What if Kubica didn't have his rally crash? He was already set to be Fernando Alonso's Ferrari teammate, as planned, in 2012. Red Bull was very strong at the end of 2012, but Ferrari and McLaren were also very competitive and the wins were fairly evenly distributed. While it's likely that Robert might have matched Fernando, he would probably not have exceeded his achievements, as Alonso was just 3 points short of champion Vettel. Likely, Robert would comfortably have exceeded the Brazilian score. In doing so, he might thus have deprived Seb of that overall winning advantage and helped his teammate to a 3rd crown. It's hard to imagine Kubica helping Ferrari to be any more competitive than they were in the opening seasons of the turbo-hybrid formula, but might a combination of Kubica and Vettel reaped a greater reward, and sooner, from 2015 onwards? Number 5. What if Nico Rosberg didn't retire after winning his championship in 2016? Rosberg's abrupt retirement right after winning his title left fans and Mercedes in shock. Could he have continued to challenge his teammate Lewis Hamilton and potentially shaped a different era in F1? As we know, Bottas played the role of the perfect wingman in comparison to Nico. There would be a high possibility that Lewis would ever win 7 world championships in the span of his whole career. Mercedes had the upper hand on regulations until 2021, so probably that year would be more intriguing than Hamilton Bottas Verstappen. Number 4. What if Sebastian Vettel didn't have his 2012 title-threatening spin in Brazil? In a heart-stopping moment, Vettel's early race spin almost cost him the championship. If he had failed to recover, Fernando Alonso could have been a 3-time world champion. Vettel would have pretty decently won a championship given no other incident would happen, but what if Vettel had another heavy crash that took him out? That would make Alonso champion then. Number 3. What if triple world champion Niki Lauda never had his near-fatal crash at Nürburgring? Niki's miraculous return just 6 weeks post-accident is legendary. But without that setback, the tight 1976 championship outcome might have been far different. Niki would clinch a title in '76. The '77 title is a given. And he would have stayed with Ferrari in '78, but would not have had a chance to beat the almighty Lotuses. He would probably have stayed on with Ferrari in '79 to clinch a record 4th title with the Scuderia before retiring to his airline business. Number 2. What if Mika Hakkinen never went on sabbatical? As a fair take, Mika was already done after winning his 2 titles. In '96 he had an almost life-ending crash that made him rethink, but after that season in 2001, he had already decided to retire. It was just Dennis' way of keeping sponsors intact, and if ever Mika decided to return, get him back in a team. However, after he tested the car in 2006 he was certain of his decision. And at number 1, what if Lewis Hamilton had signed with Red Bull instead of Mercedes in 2013? Hamilton's move to Mercedes was a game-changer. But what if the Brit chose the seat at Red Bull? Could he have continued their dominance, or would this have opened the door for a different driver's era? However, on the other hand, as Sebastian Vettel won his last title in 2013, Lewis would have a decent battle against him that would probably give us another look at the best title of last decade. However, Lewis would never have 7 titles, and Alonso could have gone at Mercedes after leaving Ferrari in 2014. As we come to an end, most of what ifs prove that Alonso had a chance every year since his title-winning season, only to be chipped off by team management or his bad career moves. Those are the twists and turns of fate, the crossroads of motorsport history. The what-ifs in F1 teach us that in racing, as in life, everything can change in just a split second. Got your own what-if moments? Share them in the comments below. Remember, in F1, the story is always to be continued on the next lap. Until next time, keep racing, and we'll see you at the checkered flag.